Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. At first I want to thank you all for the great feedback I had recently, and yes, thank you. And I decided to make a talking video. The first time I avoided because I think my English is a bit too bad for talking, but I think it's, yes, people ask me, so many people ask me always about my art supplies, so I thought it's time for a video about this. Hopefully they will not ask so much anymore, but well, I will, then I can just post the link to this video when they're asking. It's always I think when I just say what I'm using, it's not I think it's a bit too expensive for a lot of people. They ask, a lot of people are beginners or or people who maybe are young and don't have much money or don't want to spend much money on art supplies, and the colors I'm using are very expensive, and I thought it's maybe better to make a video where I show what I'm using, but also what I would recommend to people who don't want to spend so much money on it. Well, tada! Here's the video, and I will split this video in more parts. This part is just about watercolors. The second part will be about watercolor paper or paper. Third part may be about brushes and pens, and if you have any ideas, feel free to ask me what you want about art supplies, please. The most frequently question is really about my watercolors, so here it's a watercolor video. I think a lot of people know already that I'm using Schminke Horadam watercolors. I also so I changed the perspective because I think you can see more from this side. Well, this is my main watercolor palette. I think most people already know that I'm using Schminke Horadam watercolors. This is the professional artist line from Schminke, and this is a really big set, and I filled it up with big pens, whole pens, not the small half pens that most people have, but I prefer these big pens because I like also to use big brushes, like my Chinese brushes, and it's really easier to use to get the color out of the pens from this bigger pens. Yeah, but I also have a small set for sketching outside or for traveling. Well, a few other colors than in this set, because I really like to test watercolors. That's the reason why I have so many, because I really like to test them and try them out. You don't need so much colors I have. You can perfectly paint with just 12 colors, or a lot of professional artists also only paint with prime colors, so this is also possible. Watercolors are really good to mix, so you don't need that many colors I have. I also, when I paint a picture, I only use about 4 or 5 colors, and I mix everything between with these 5 colors, so that my paintings don't look so so confused. I don't know the word I can't explain it, but I like it. It's more harmonic when I don't use too much colors. Yes, these are my two main palettes I am currently using. I also use Daniel Smith watercolors. Well, I forgot. When a pen is empty or is not much color inside, I fill them up with my tubes. So a lot of people ask me what's the difference between tubes and pens. Well, there is no difference. It's just that in tubes the colors are still liquid, but you also can fill them in the pans and let them dry, so it's the same pigments inside, the same the same difference between filler and pigments. So it's almost pure pigments, not much filler, because they are both professional watercolors. And yes, this I've always fill my pens up when they are empty, and I don't buy new ones because it's cheaper to fill them up. Yeah. And I also have before I bought before I upgraded to my Schminke Horadam colors, I used Schminke Academy colors. These are also in pans, but only in half pans. They don't have Academy colors in whole pans or tubes, just in these small pans. And the difference between the Horadam and the Academy colors is that, yes, the Academy is student quality, and the Horadam colors is artist quality, professional artist quality. The student watercolors have more filler and less pigments, and the pigments are not as fine as the professional one, and they are not pure pigments. It's almost mixed, and professional are very fine pigments and just a little bit filler, and yes, almost pure pigments. Yeah, this is a difference, and maybe it's interesting to compare them on a paper. So here artist watercolor, here student watercolor. This is student, and this is artist pen. Whoops. It's both Prussian blue. It's a really high, very brilliant blue. One of my favorite colors. So we will see the difference, hopefully. First the artist one. See, it's really brilliant, really high pigmented. You can use it really dark. You can like really dark blue, and with water lighter blue. now the student watercolor, the same blue. You see, it's much lighter, this because there are not much pigments, not that much pigments in the color like here, so you need a lot of more color to get it darker. And it won't get as dark as here and not that brilliant. Well, you also can paint nice watercolor paintings with academy or student watercolors, so it's that's what a lot of people think, that the watercolors make the picture, but that's not true. It's you, and of course watercolors can help to make the picture more beautiful, but you already has to know how to use them. And well, you can do really nice art with really cheap watercolors, and you can also make really crappy art with really expensive watercolors. So keep this in your mind, please. Well, so you see the difference, and now, as I said, I also have Daniel Smith watercolors. These are also really good and professional watercolors. They only exist in tubes, so I don't have that nice set like my Schminke Horadam set, but I bought a plastic palette. Here you see a plastic palette, and fill them in this. And yeah, it's also professional artist quality, really high pigmented. A lot of people say that that Daniel Smith watercolors are the best watercolors ever and the most brilliant. They have a lot of colors, a lot of natural pigments and also high-tech pigments, and they have a really big range on colors. But you should inform a bit about the pigments they use, because some are really hard to use. Well, I bought some colors and they are really granulating, and I like to paint on smooth paper, on hot pressed paper, and some colors from Daniel Smith don't look nice on smooth paper. They need some texture. So yes, maybe you should test them before. They also have a test card so you can test them before you buy them. But I didn't have this test card, so I bought some colors I don't like that much, or not on smooth paper then. But when I paint a rough paper on rough paper, I can use it. Granulated colors can look beautiful when you paint wet in wet, and when you want a textured surface, and yeah. Well, these are my two brands I'm using, but as I said, you don't need to spend much money for good colors. Well, you can, as I said, also with cheap colors make great paintings. And I discovered two brands that are really good and cheap. The first one is this one. It's White Nights. It's a Russian brand, and you see it's also extra fine artist watercolors, also not student watercolors, and also fine pigments, and they are really nice. And this is a 12 color set, just a small one, and it costs about, in Germany, about 15 euros, and this is a really good price. And 12 colors are totally enough to paint everything. And to compare it with these Daniel Smith watercolors, here in Germany, Daniel Smith watercolors cost around 14 euros, and this whole palette about 15 euros, so almost the same price, just here for one tube and this for the whole set. Yeah, and yeah, but I don't know, maybe Daniel Smith's watercolors aren't that expensive in other countries, I don't know, maybe just here in Germany. This is why I also prefer a bit my Schminke watercolors, because it's a German brand and they are cheaper here in Germany than in other countries, and cheaper than Daniel Smith watercolors. So, and another brand I can recommend is this. It's a Japanese brand called Kuretake, or this is a brand, Kuretake, and they have these big pans. This is a medium set with 24 watercolors. They also have bigger sets with around 36 watercolors, and also smaller with 12, and you can also buy them separately. And the good thing is it's also artist quality and fine pigmented and really brilliant colors. And if you compare it, the size of the pens with the big from Schminke, you can see they have the same height, but one Schminke fits around 3 times in just one Kuretake pen. So, well, a lot of color for a low price. This set costs around 36 euros and the 12 color set around 20 euros. So a really good price for so many colors, and as I said, 12 colors are totally enough. I can show you oh, forgot to show you the let's see, where's the water? It's a bit different, the color, but you see it's really nice pigmented, really nice watercolor. Well, maybe not that pigmented like the Schminke or the Daniel Smith watercolors, but better than the Academy one. And now the White Nights. The White Nights watercolors are also called St. Petersburg, I think. St. Petersburg or something. Well, it's a Russian brand, and here also really nice. Look at this, so beautiful. Yeah. Well, these are the 2 brands I can recommend to people who just start with watercolors, or who don't want to spend so much so much on art supplies. And yeah, I really like to spend money on art supplies, because it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of an obsession for me. I don't know, it's not necessary, but hey, other girls buy clothes and spend a lot of money on shoes and handbags, and I spend my money on nice watercolors. Yes, I hope it was not too confusing, the video, and I hope it's a bit helpful for you. And if you have questions, still questions, please ask. As I said, I will make also other art supplies videos. The next one will about watercolor paper or paper, and about and there I also will show what I'm using, and also recommend cheaper and good papers for watercolors. Yeah. So thank you for watching, and see you hopefully in the next video. Bye!